Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit the subscribe button. And if you haven't joined our Facebook group, please do join that too. It's BWTM Sports channel, BWTM Sports channel group. Check it out as well. And if you're not following us on Twitter or tweeting to us, it's Bayloric, Bayloric TV. Bayloric TV. So Bayloric TV. They're there. Right now, just about to log off when this news just traveled from America to my screen and read this information directly from Adrien Broner. So this tweet comes out from Adrien Broner, and he says, in the words of Adrien Broner at his account, "I'm sorry, at Eddie Hearn, you're a good guy and all, but..." Oh shit. It's to do with this promotional deal, this whole, that Hearn's trying to snaffle up Broner. And what do you get? Well, go straight over to his Instagram page, and basically Adrian's kind of like, this is how the conversation goes. This is on Adrien Broner's Instagram. I don't know if he's pulled it down yet, but this is just like 49 minutes ago. It goes, "Further to our recent conversations, you may have seen our announcement last week for our new deal for 16 shows per year in the US. I would be very interested to offer Adrien a 3-fight promotional agreement as follows. Asterisk, fight 1, September 2018, purse $2 million. Asterisk, fight 2, March 2019, purse 2.25 million. Asterisk, fight 3, September 2019, purse $2.5 million. This will give AB security and also a concrete schedule to work from. 3 fights in 12 months. Apostrophe. I await your feedback and I'm here to answer any questions you have." So this is Adrien Broner's response. "I'm sorry, Eddie Hearn, you're a good guy and all, but you tried to give me a worse deal than Rock Nation offered me. At hashtag the shit is over. Hashtag slave deal." So there are some people here that is Frank Knits Ints 87. You want to know why? Your last 3 fights. So people are basically saying your last 3 fights ain't been great. That's why you're getting the deal you're getting. Shot of Tequila 89 says, "Hey, Adrien Broner, it's not a bad deal. I can't remember the last time you fought a relevant boxer and won." Monkey Mo says, "Take the deal, 6.75 million in 12 months, you fool." Dennis Raymond Janik, he says, "I don't see what the problem is." Then K Frank says, "Bad deals. LOL. He drawed against Vargas and lost before Vargas, and he wants more than 6 million in a year. He's nowhere near the top of the food chain." Rich 10,000 says, "Take the deal, bro, and stop being greedy. You ain't big time no more." Forder says, at Adrien Broner, "About billions. How much did you get at the Barclays Center for your last fight? Turn down 6.5 million like you are something special. You lost your respect when Chino Maidana humped you in the ring. Just a jumped up guarding gnome." Then Shax Psalm says, "But he puts up the biggest numbers outside of pay-per-view, and that's all that matters. He fills seats and gets views. And if starts to get his rhythm back, that will increase." Then effing Miles says, "Gonna be so sad to watch." Rip Joe 90 says, "Hey, Adrien Broner, tell him up the money. If you want the Khan fight, you would be selling that fight anyways. Possibly 30 million fight, probably 40. Somebody says, Javonte, Robert Easter Jr. Hey, get your boy, man. He's tripping. Then somebody else has chipped in and said, that is true. There aren't any pay-per-view without Floyd and Canelo. It's the climate of the sport. I think largely due to the promoters not wanting to cross-promote. I disagree with you on AB being the biggest draw, though. I think GGG, Canelo, Loma are the biggest with Mikey Garcia. AB and maybe Danny Garcia rounding it out. We're not talking about washed up Pac-Man. Some people say he's an idiot. Murdoch JS says, wow, and you know he real when he turned down MS Matchroom Sport and call it a slave deal. That's what somebody else says. 4100 AB, that offer ain't something to turn your nose at, bro. What's your current situation saying now? You're on a decline, bro. You need a couple of fights to be getting back in serious position. From what he's done in the UK in 12 months, 3 fights, and then you'll be in a position, depending on your dedication and your results, to be a boss in terms. I'm not saying sign it, but counter the offer. Matchroom shows are buzzing. Then somebody else says, you're not even getting over 1.25 million with your official fight purse as it is. You're only going to go further down with purses as you're not winning and starting to decline. He's offering double what you make a fight, and a 3-fight deal making 6.7 million for fight purses and 12 months. Be smart. Okay, so that's what everyone is talking to about Adrien Broner and his deal. Now, from the outside, it looks like Broner should take the deal. But Broner's been in the sport long enough. And of course, Rock Nation wanted to sign him. We don't know how much Al's paying him, and we don't know what he with Al, when he was with Al, or is he still with Al? I don't know. But one thing I do know is that nothing is as it may seem to be. You don't know what else comes with that money. You don't know when he says it's a slave deal, that means that he's signed to Matchroom for the rest of his life. And that means all his intellectual property also goes with that 2.5 million. You don't know. If 2.5 million is the maximum he'll make with Matchroom in 3 fights, then let's say the 3 fights were Khan, Garcia, and I don't know, Thurman. Those were the 3 fights. And those 3 fights were with those 3 were the 3 fights. And he signed with Matchroom, and the maximum he can get is 2.5 million in a fight. People are not thinking about that. That's his ceiling. If he signs with Matchroom, that's what he's guaranteed for a fight. But if he's guaranteed to make 5 million in a fight, or 10 million in a fight, or 20 million in a fight, he can't make that money. So all these people saying sign the contract, they don't know. They've got no idea because they don't know what he's signing up to. So it looks pretty on the outside for those who don't know what 2.5 million looks like. But if Adrien Broner's had 2.5 million, he knows what 2.5 million looks like. And 2.5 million to some people is chump change. Okay, that's what you need to understand. So for me, he says, the Cali Enigma Boxing Network says, we told you all, no one effing with Matchroom. I'm not surprised. Not surprised. I don't think that, it'll be interesting to see how Hearn moves over in America, whether that same sort of stuff that he does in the UK will work in America. I'm not so sure it will, but we'll wait and see. But word will get around a lot of these, I think particularly around the black fighters. I think that they're going to be on their P's and Q's with this one. So I say that because I can't talk about a community that I'm connected with in that sense. So we do business differently, as James Ellerbish has said over and over again. So to me, that's not a surprise there. And it shows in the message. The message wasn't directly to Adrien Broner. The message was to somebody who controls or runs Adrien Broner. It wasn't to Adrien, because you notice in the actual message, the to and from, it doesn't say who the message is to. It doesn't say who it's from, but we know all about who it's about. It's about Adrien Broner. It's probably been sent to his management team, and maybe Matchroom Sports. Well, you would assume it's Matchroom Sports, but clearly it's not a good deal. It's not. I don't think it's a great deal at all. And that's just, I'm only saying it's not a good deal because that's the ceiling. That's how much he's guaranteed each fight. They're saying, yeah, that's his guarantee. But with signing with it, is he signing away his intellectual property? Is that guaranteed to him, or is that what his purse is before tax? And then he's got to pay. He's got to pay for training camps, medical bills. All that stuff has to get taken out of that as well. So I'm with Adrien on this one. He's still a big name in boxing. He needs to get his shit together for real, but getting his shit together is not signing with Matchroom. And I support Adrien on this one. Everything that glitters ain't gold. But if he's about billions, he's gonna have to start thinking like a billionaire and not about broke, which is so his mentality in way he addresses fights, the approach he takes. I think he needs to lose the weight. He needs to move down in weight, where he's a force in a lower weight division. As much as I hate to admit it, he's worth more than that. Of course, he's worth more than that. So I believe Adrien when he says a slave contract. Yeah, it is a damn slave contract because you don't know what's attached with it. But he's probably looked behind that and he's had something look at it and said, right, this is the catch. If you sign with them, you sign your basic life away. The best parts of your career, your life. So basically, he's signing away on this contract from September 2018 to September 2019. That's a year, right? That's a year in boxing. That's 3 fights. Now, in this situation here, also, what else is not being mentioned is who will he be fighting in those 3 fights? Will it be 3 top of the chain fights? Will it be 3 fights that are just bum fighters? No, I mean bum fighters. Do you phrase that? Fighters that are not. Good morning. Good afternoon. Fighters that are not elite caliber fighters. Now you just have to take, for example, when Luis Ortiz decided to sign with Matchroom. You know, when Ortiz signed with Matchroom, everyone said, "Oh, Eddie's the best promoter in the world. He's one of the best promoters in the world." So he goes to Matchroom. He fights Dave Allen, Malik Scott. I mean, what the hell's that about? You tell me. You tell me. So he says, Broner not exciting, but the matchups could be interesting. No, mate, I'm sorry. It's like, I don't care about the matchup at this point. I care about the fighter getting paid the maximum amount of money and not being taken liberties with. And this contract is a liberty taker, as far as I'm concerned. Hurley's cheeky. He's complaining about why the 50 million offer, and then goes and does the same thing. If it is Hearn that offered that, but it is what it is. You'll think what you like because you're always entitled to opinion. But I personally, if I were Adrien Broner, I wouldn't be touching that with a 2-foot barge pole, to be honest. So, and now it's interesting how he's put that out on blast as well. So other fighters will now be seeing that contract and be thinking, So that's what it's all about. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting who actually does sign. It'll be interesting the deals that Danny Jacobs has got, and the interesting that Jerome Miller's got. Remember, and this particular is in. I speak for the black community when I speak about this. That we are, and I speak we on a whole. There's the whole money thing. Do you know what I mean? Quick money, quick money. Oh, he's offering me this money. He's offering me this money. I'll just sign this contract. Even up to today, there's a brother that we know that's about to sign a record. He's looking to sign a record deal, and it's about the money, isn't it? It's about selling yourself out for a record deal. You understand? So, Broner's probably been down the road and had to do some things he didn't really want to do to make the money he's made. You don't know what road Broner's had to go down. So it'll be very interesting to see. We've got Jacobs and he's got Jacobs and he's got Miller, how he attracted those 2 fighters and what Matchroom can actually do for them, because I'll be interested to see exactly what he does do for them in the future. If I were any of these fighters, I'd be sitting back and watching. All right, let me see what you do with Jacobs. Let me see how you maneuver Jacobs. Let me see how you maneuver Jura Miller. Because to be honest, I wasn't impressed with the way you maneuvered Luis Ortiz's career. In fact, you stopped Luis Ortiz's career and took a big chunk of his year out of his career. So, by signing up Adrien Broner, you could sign Adrien Broner and you fight a whole load of guys that don't matter. He'll probably sign Adrien Broner and then say, all right, hey, Broner, you come to England and you fight three. One of the deals could be, come to England and fight three welterweights in the UK. Fight three welterweights in the UK. Once you sign a deal, you'll do exactly as Matchroom says. That is part of a slave contract. You'll do as we say. And Adrien up for that. So there's lots of things to consider. It's not just signing for the money. There's a lot more things to consider. And before you just look at the money, there's a lot of things to consider. A lot of European fighters won't attract the US audience to sub to the app. Yeah, I understand that. Heyman has tabs on most of the US fighters. Hearn will have to do some brown nosing. Yeah, I'll have to do a hell of a lot of brown nosing. But I would say to those fighters, take a step back and take a look with any new organization. Forget what they're doing in the UK. UK is one market, America's another market. Matchroom Sports in America is it's untested. You don't know how good they actually are. When Rock Nation came out, Rock Nation's got Jay-Z and blah, 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 blah. Look at Rock Nation. Look at how Rock Nation released their fighters. So, we know that Matchroom's got the accountants and Eddie and Barry. We know how good they are in the UK. We'll have to see what they do in America. Like I said, look at how they manage Jacobs. Look at how they manage Ortiz. Look how they manage Jura Miller. 3 top fighters. Look at how they manage their fighters. That's what I want to know. And you got to remember as well, when Heyman got that deal with all those fighters, they got thrown in a ridiculous amount of money. And Heyman could do it because the money didn't belong to him. So those fighters, even if they were good fighters, they were overinflated. They got paid maximum amount of money. And that's why all these fighters say, all thanks to Al Heyman, because they got paid a lot of money. And so because they got paid a lot of money, even though they weren't worth it in terms of value, in terms of what they actually brought to the sport, they were overpaid. Some of them were overpaid and underperformed, you see? So that's why they all give thanks to Al Heyman, because Al Heyman pays them a hell of a lot of money. So now Eddie's going to try and lowball them and cheap them, if it is Eddie Hearn, that is. Or Matchroom are going to try and cheap ball or lowball guys like Broner after being seen the money, So I don't know. As far as I'm concerned, congratulations, Adrien Broner, for what you've done. I think it's good that you stand up for yourself and not being swayed by the money. I know a lot of us, speak for the community here, would have just gone for the money and just listened to ill-advised decisions made by people over social media. People over social media, so they think they can decide to you what money you should take and what money you shouldn't take. But when the legal costs come in, they'll all go missing. So, Adrien, you do what you got to do, brother. You do exactly what you got to do, and keep on keeping on. Ingo, who gives a shit what Broner thinks? I lost to Maidana and Porter, and both have lost to Khan and Brook. LOL. The fight purse was only $1 million for Garcia. I give a shit what Broner thinks, and the reason why I give a shit what Broner thinks is because he has come out and said something. He said something that I'm very interested in. He revealed to us what the deal would look like now. A lot of people would behind the closed. If Broner had said, I got some shit deal from Eddie Hearn, or I got some shit deal from Matchroom, nobody would believe it. Now you've got that information that's come up now. You can't quite argue with it. And the thing about Broner is people don't understand. Broner is fighting out of his weight class. Broner was a bully down in his lower weight division. So what's basically happened is he's moved up in weight. The guys have now been bigger and stronger than Broner himself, so he can't walk guys down. That's all it is. Broner cannot walk fighters down because they're much bigger than him, stronger than him. That's what it is. Al ain't paying that cash now. I know Al ain't paying that cash now, but they've had a taste of what that money's like. And they say, if Al compares this money, well, you know what? This is the sort of money we're looking for. And if we're not getting this sort of money, then we'll only fight X amount of times a year to make it worth that money. You have to you have to pay me. So that's what's going on there. So there we go. You know, but good for Adrian Broner. I hope he doesn't buckle under pressure. I hope they make him. I hope they pay him what he's worth. Do you know what I mean? And what he potentially could be worth in super fights in the future. So all Adrian has to do is put on put one or two good performances against a top fighter, and he's back in. But I think if I Adrien Broner, I move down to light welterweight. I think he'll be more effective down at light welterweight than he ever would be at welterweight. Personal opinion. I think he needs to lose weight. He needs to come down to light welterweight and fight at light welterweight. Much more effective. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts. Well done, Adrien Broner. He's opened the gateway now with that Instagram, and because he's got so many people on Instagram, people around the world are going to see that now. Fighters around the world are going to see Adrien Broner, what Adrien Broner's done there. It's probably a PR disaster for Matchroom, because if it's Matchroom has done that deal, because let's see what he's put. He's just put something 60 minutes ago. Yeah, Adrien Broner says my credit is so good in the streets, I can borrow a red light. Let's see what he's saying here. He says hashtag on God NEM. So everyone's talking about. I was kind of mocking Adrien now, talking about his credit is so good he can get he can borrow a red light, whatever that's meant to mean. So anyway, check the comments on the post. Yeah, I did check the comments on the post. I did. Oh dear. Everyone's got an opinion. So even I've got an opinion. So that's it is. But it certainly has put now the American fighters, particularly I talk about the African American fighters or the black fighters in America, is open their eyes to what if they do, if they'll say if they can do that with Adrien Broner, imagine what could happen for us. And they'll be looking at that. So, they will look at that, and Broner's basically kind of open the floodgates up for other people to now fighters to sit back and think, what's going on there? Because if Broner could have kept it in house, he could have not said anything about it. I just said I got a dodgy deal, it weren't great, and I didn't like it. The fact he's put it out on social media has now made boxing skeptics look again. It's also made it'll make boxers maybe not so fast to rush in. The Broner story, basically, you have to rewind it to stop the beginning, but there were 3 fights from 2 million, and the last fight was 2.5 million. 2.2 million was in the 2.2 million was in the middle fight. The third fight was 2.5 million, and that's what Matchroom were trying to offer to Adrien Broner. And Broner said it was a worse deal than Rock Nation, and he called it a slave contract. And he says, Eddie Hearn, you're a nice guy, but, and then he laid it out. Matchroom over him just short of 7 million in a 3-fight deal, and he called it a slave deal. Yeah, but you're not listening. You're not listening, because that sounds great if you look at the figures for just the figures it is, but that is the maximum earning potential he could make in the 3 fights. So if he got in the next 3 fights, Khan, Brook, and Thurman in the next 3 fights, do you think he should be getting 2.25 million? That's ridiculous. So no, it don't make sense. It don't make no sense whatsoever. That deal makes no sense. Is that 2.25 million before tax? Is that 2.25 million after tax? Is there any stipulation that, okay, well, you're going to fight in America or you're going to fight in the UK? Is he owned after that when he signs that contract? Is there anything more to that? intellectual property, 2.25 million. But if he signs to Matchroom Sports, that when he finishes boxing career, Matchroom Sports will be able to still use his videos, and that all the videos that he's had previously gets owned by Matchroom, all his fights. You don't understand these contracts. You really don't understand these contracts. You don't have a clue, some of you. Do you know the X Factor, for example, that when they sign to these contracts, when you sign these contracts at X Factor, basically, there's a video on it as well. From what I saw, the beginning, once you sign with X Factor, so all the music you've done beforehand, they own. All the music you do afterwards, they own. You can't have contact with any other music companies for that. I think it's 4 or 5 years, something like that. Anything you say or do, you have to go through them. Anything you do, you take a piss, you got to tell them you're going to take a piss. So they own you. They literally own you. So this 2.5 deal, 3 fights, you don't know what else comes with it. So Adrien Broner basically won't be his own man. So man sounds like Hearn is feeling the pressure. Ain't he got 16 deals a year to fulfill? Maybe he has, but what Broner's done here has not made his life any easier. It's not made his life any easier. So Broner's turning into a journeyman who hesitated to punch after Mikey. Let's see what he gets next. But I appreciate your opinion. Listen, I don't care what you say about what Broner's turning into. He's still a boxer and still deserves to put on, get as much money as he can get in this sport. Listen, nobody talks about how much the promoter's getting out of this. I don't hear anybody saying, oh, Eddie Hearn should be making an extra amount of money. I don't hear anybody criticizing Eddie the amount of money he makes or Matchroom the amount of money they take. But you're really quick to criticize a fight and how much a fighter gets. You all got it, your heads around the wrong way. You should be criticizing the amount the promoter's taking out of a fighter who's not even putting his life on the line. He secured his family over and over and over again. You mean? So I'm not interested. I don't give a shit about what the promoter makes. I don't care about the promoter. All I care about is the fighter. Do you know what I mean? The promoter's always going to get their cut. I want to know about the fighter. So fair play to Adrien Broner. Good on you, son. Good for you. And I would advise all the fighters out in America, particularly the black fighters in America I talk about, because they're very quick to sign on a dotted line and sell their intellectual property away, to think twice and let the Adrien Broner deal there be a what I would call is the red flag to signing with Matchroom, if that's the case. So, but let me tell you something. All the top fighters in the world will see that Periscope, that Instagram. They'd see that in the communities and, spread like wildfire. And I'm not going to be the only one talking about this. There'll be other people who'll go in depth. I'm sure people like 78 Sports TV and Blood Boxing, and LDBC, they're going to be on this. They're going to be on this case. So this is going to spread like wildfire. Trust me. This is going to be like wildfire. So this is going to go across media real quick. So you know what? It's going to be very interesting. Very, very interesting. But Adrien Broner is almost like the Kanye West of boxing. What he's done here. Yeah, Eddie's clever, but now he has a lot of dates to fill in UK and States now. Hopefully he does good. The more boxing, the better. Well, you might be getting a whole heap of junk coming through now. So we'll see. We might get next gen in America. That's what will be the next thing coming up. So anyway, I can tell you one thing: there'll be a lot of journeymen making a lot of money. Wouldn't you use it productively for a counter offer rather than airing business? You see, I agree with you there, right? But what I'm saying to you is this: in this world of social media, before it can be spun anyway, we may if Adrien Broner didn't put this out, what you get today is, or on one of these media outlets, you'll get, we offered Adrien a very good, lucrative offer, a very good offer, a deal that you wouldn't have got anywhere else with Matchroom Sports. That's the sort of crap that would come out, and then you, the boxing fan, would turn around and say, yeah, promoter said he got a really good deal. They can't do that now because Adrian's put that out on Front Street. AB is American and a player. He's always going to run his mouth, and he will sign eventually. But yeah, he might sign eventually, but it'll be a lot more than that. So what I'm saying to you all here is, there's no opportunities for any spin doctor crap. We offered them a great deal. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And I take what that promoter says with a pinch of salt, because he turned around and looked me directly in my eye, not any keyboard shit. I looked that promoter in the eye, and he told me in the first 30 seconds, the secret to success is bullshit and a smile. And he told me to my face within 30 seconds, bullshit and a smile. It was up on the channel. Anytime you want to look at it, feel free. Eddie Hearn, Ingram Jones, BWTM Sports, check it out. It's there. I understand the media issue, but for himself, after the counter offer, if the return is shit. I understand the media issue, but for himself, air out the counter offer if the return is shit. No. It's about value. It's about value from the start. I understand where Adrian's coming from. A value. How much are you really valued? If you come and offer me a shit offer from the start, pardon my French, but you offer me a shit offer from the start, that means that's how much you truly value me. That's how much you truly value me. And it looks to me on that offer that they don't value Adrien Broner very highly at all. He's still one of the most well-known fighters in the world today. So to me, the win-win is the win starts with the value of a fighter and how much you're going to pay a fighter. You show your value by saying, you know what, we're going to give, this is the best possible offer we can give you, not the shitmost offer we're going to give you. We're going to give you a real good offer. But then the negotiator might be, you know what, we're going to offer you this offer at first, but really they want to offer him 3.5 or 4.5. But you start with the low end and see if you can take it from there. The lowest end of the scale. So it could have been negotiating tactics to be the lower end of the scale. As a matter of fact, you don't know, when you talk about counter offers, you don't know how far this negotiating got to. For all we know, this offer of the 3-fight deal could have been less. It could have been, he could have started off at 1 million, 1.5 million, and then even been 2 million. And Adrian said, nah, I don't want that. Send that shit back. And then the negotiations come back. He said, this is the second offer that's been brought up, or the final offer that's been put through. And it being the final offer, Adrian said, nah, I ain't dealing with this shit. And he's put it up there. You don't know how many negotiations he's had first of all. You know, so you don't know if this is the first negotiation. You don't know if it was the second negotiation. You don't know if there was any negotiation. But in either sense, it's shit. Damn right. Am I wrong in thinking that stadium in UK makes under 7 million gates and 20,000 gates in states? There's upwards of 50 million. I don't know. Even in promotion, he insulted him to start with. So why would he want to know any more? Thank you very much for that. LOL. Okay. So there you go. We ain't going to agree, bro. No, we ain't going to agree. We're definitely not going to agree. I tell you why we ain't going to agree, bro, because being in the business, it's different. You understand? When you're on the outside looking in and the inside looking out, boxing is dying in the US and POV is dead. Broner still ain't made that 40 million he turned down from Jay-Z and probably won't when his career is all said and done. But he hasn't made it because of his own mistakes. He hasn't made it because he's made some poor decisions. If he had stayed at lightweight or went to light welterweight, he'd have been stayed at lightweight, he'd have been devastating force. He would have been devastating at lightweight. But, you know, we'll see. There's still time. There's still time. There's still time in his career. I'm just here for Broner versus Zahara Davis. I've subbed for a year, and I agree with you on most stuff, but you don't agree with me on the Adrien Broner thing. I understand, bro. I'm not here for you to agree on everything. I'm not here for you to agree on anything. I'm just here for you to think about things a little differently. That's all. Nothing personal, but like I said, poor deal, no deal. So you know, who knows? By airing it out now, he may turn around and do something different. Hearn's deals will be similar to PBC, not pay per view. Fighters want pay per view money. Good. I'm glad pay per view is dead. Next stop, let's kill pay per view in the UK. Totally agree with that as well. Totally agree. It's been oversaturated. Somebody said to me that once pay per view is dead, that Hearn's going to chip. So I don't know. What I do know is that this one, I don't normally agree with Adrien Broner, but on this one, he's got my round of applause. Right, I'm out of here. I don't know how many videos I'll be doing after this for a while. So I've just to push out. I know, man. With no opinion, there's no talking points. I agree. So we don't, like I said, we don't know at what point this negotiation got to, whether there was any negotiation. But to me, looking in the outside of that, Broner's not being valued or being devalued. So good for Broner, and he's put the world or the American fighters on lookout now. And you know what? American fighters, particularly black fighters, they in America have a different outlook to fighters in the UK. Very different outlook, and they won't like to see that what's happened with Broner there. It's not a very good start. First impressions and all that. You still interested in Tarver fighting? Yeah, I'm interested in Tarver fighting if he's still got something there. I mean, I don't know what he'll do against Kaufman, but Kaufman got beat the other day by what's his name, Mansour. I'd like to see Tarver versus Mansour actually. Right, I'm out of here. Hope you enjoyed the videos. I need to get some sleep. Take care.